Can you believe that Under Wraps was the movie that started it all for the Disney Channel? Long before High School Musical, The Cheetah Girls, or Descendants, this little Halloween comedy about a friendly mummy quietly changed Disney Channel forever. Let's take a deep dive through the wrappings of Under Wraps. Before Under Wraps, Disney Channel mostly aired reruns, imported shows, and older Disney movies. The network was looking for something special, something unique, something they could call their own. An original film would make perfect sense with the Disney magic and their brand new Disney Channel. Original films made just for kids and teenagers, specifically built for Disney Channel. Enter Under Wraps. Directed by Greg Beeman and written by Don Reimer, it premiered on October 25th, 1997, and it became the very first Disney Channel original movie. The movie launched what fans now call the dcom era. Like typical Disney Channel movies and shows, this would launch the careers of many young actors and actresses, but most notably, it would star Bill Fagerbach, the person you mostly know as the voice of Patrick from SpongeBob, as both Harold and the Mummy. This would be an iconic role for him and would be remembered for decades to come as he would launch his career even further into new heights. It was a kids' movie. It was built around the understanding of kids interacting with a undead creature on Halloween night. It had the spooky charm and the Disney magic that brought it all together to make it an interesting watch for fans. The plot of the movie was simple, like many of the Disney Channel original movies. It would be about kids accidentally awaking a 3,000-year-old Egyptian mummy and bringing him to life. Instead of terrorizing the town, the mummy turns out to be a kind, clumsy, oddly lovable character. The kids would nickname him Harold and set out to return him to his sarcophagus before midnight on Halloween. Because if they don't, he'll turn to dust. This gave an interesting dynamic to the characters, and of course, it would allow a villain to be introduced in Mr. Kubat, the neighbor who faked his own death to sell these Egyptian artifacts, including Harold. This creates the typical dynamic in these Disney Channel movies that people love of kids going against that villain or evil adult who is setting out to do bad things, and the kids come out victorious. Now, if you're sitting there and you've never watched this movie or weren't part of that 90s generation that grew up with it, you might be thinking to yourself, why does Under Wraps even matter? They made a remake, it was alright, but this movie isn't that important. It's not even on Disney Plus. Why is it iconic? Why do Disney kids remember it so much? And why is it one of the most important movies from the 90s? Well, you could essentially say that Under Wraps was the Snow White for Disney Channel. Disney Channel needed something. They needed something iconic, and they needed something to restart their brand to this new generation of Disney fans. And Under Wraps was that way. The Disney Channel had struggled for years to find its identity. It would air old shows, reruns, and it was trying something unique. With the emergence of Nickelodeon, they knew they needed to stand out. They couldn't be just a premium cable channel. They needed to be an addition to that new cable network that was forming through the late 90s and early 2000s. Under Wraps was the way to do this. Under Wraps provided something unique, something different, and it also gave Disney the confidence to go out on their own and create a unique aspect of films specifically made for television. Yes, there had been low budget films for decades on TV, but Disney had never taken this true opportunity to build something unique. They had premiere films for years on Disney Channel, but they never had something that was created specifically for Disney Channel, creating the dcom brand. And for the next 2 decades, Disney Channel's success would be hinged on the fact that this movie was successful at the beginning. It proved that Disney could make in-house shows and movies. It proved that original content worked on Disney Channel, and it also built a community. This is what really made Disney different. Everyone always talks about the Disney difference and what made them unique in that growth aspect throughout the early to mid 2000s, and this was one of the main reasons why. It built a community. Kids gathered around their TVs for movie nights. Each DCOM premiered became one of the biggest events of the week or of the month. Kids would be running home from school to see these DComs. And this is what made it so special. This is what made it stand out. But most importantly, not just starting out DComs, not just proving that original content could work on Disney Channel, it created Halloween and Disney, a merger, a magical relationship, a creation of Halloween movies that were DCOM originals that would last for decades to come. Halloween Family Adventure was the formula that would be reused multiple times across various different disciplines on the Disney Channel and even today on Disney Plus. It showed that if you had heart, kids fighting a villain, and a unique character, things could work, specifically around the Halloween season. If it wasn't for the success of Under Wraps, we would have never received movies like Halloween Town, Twitches, and all those other iconic Halloween movies. But specifically, you wouldn't have those non Halloween movies either, like High School Musicals or even Descendants. All of this was because of Under Wraps, a unique movie that was Disney's opportunity, their chance to really build a brand for themselves. This was such a success. This movie was so iconic that they decided to make a remake in 2021 and a sequel in 2022. Both are available on Disney Plus. However, the original 1997 film is not. The main reason for this film to be missing from Disney Plus is less sinister than you may think. Many people think that when a movie or show's missing from a streaming service, it's because there's something inappropriate or something unexpected in it and they're trying to hide it. In fact, that's probably not the case. In reality, it's because it was Disney's first. It was their first DCOM, and at the time they hadn't standardized TV movie contracts for Disney and the relationships through distributors and production companies. This is the main reason why it's missing on Disney Plus. Heck, even when the original movie was re-released in DVD form by Echo Bridge Entertainment in 2005, it created questions because Echo Bridge wasn't a usual Disney distributor, which complicates re-releases and placing it on streaming services. This is the main reason why it's missing from Disney Plus. A piece of Disney history gone potentially forever, or will we see it eventually down the line? Let us know in the comments below if you remember this iconic movie. Thank you so much for watching Believable Truths.